Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all to learn Chinese language with Chinese language made easy. I am Muhammad Shahid and today I will discuss the topic that is related to radicals. Now, what is a radical? Is it too important for us to study a radical if we want to know about Chinese language? Why is it too significant? So, today I will tell you about these radical signs that are basically very important for us to study when we start to learn Chinese language. I will not say that you cannot write a Chinese character or you cannot know the name of a Chinese character without knowing the radical, but I will aid to it. If you know the meaning of a radical, then you can easily find out the meaning of a Chinese character, that what does this specific character could mean. So let's just get started and explore this dimension of Chinese language, and you will find it out completely interesting and attractive. So let's just get started with our today's lecture. And these are radicals. Radical in Chinese language are known as 部首, 部首, 部首. Okay, so for instance, I gave some radical signs in this lecture, and but first I'll tell you about the number of radicals, that how many number of radicals are there in Chinese language. Many books documented that there are 214 numbers of Chinese radical signs included in the Chinese language. Okay, and what a radical basically is, I'll give you a definition. Radical is a building block of all the characters of the Chinese language. So the Chinese characters that you see, you will find radical signs in those Chinese characters. Okay, so this is about the definition of the radicals, and now let's just proceed towards some radical signs, and that will give you the idea of the meaning of the Chinese character, which basically include those radical signs. So this is the radical sign with 2 dots, and then you can see that there is a t. So it is known as 学, 学, 学. It is a radical sign used for water, okay, in Chinese language. So I'll just give you a little bit explanation about it. Whenever you see this radical sign, mostly you will see this radical sign in the Chinese characters related to water. It will have an idea or give you the meaning of something related to water. And how is that? I'm going to explain it to you in the examples that are coming later from when we study this. So here are the examples, and related with this radical sign 水, 水. Okay, it is also 3 dot water radical. Okay, 三点水, 三点水. So these are the examples. I'll give you the pinyin and you will understand this. 湖, 喝, 汉, 湖, 喝, 汉, 湖, 和, 汉, 湖, 和, 汉, 湖, 和, 汉, 湖, 和, 汉. Okay, so you see that the radical sign on the left, and these 3 Chinese characters basically include that radical sign which we used for water. Okay, so you can see that, and these 3 are lake, river, and sweat. So if you see and conclude all these, the meaning of these characters, you can see that it has something to do with water sign. Okay, so like who is lake. So lake, you can see water in that. River, you can see water in that. Sweat, even when the body of someone sweats, so it has something to do with water. So we saw that how a radical is important for us and how it gives us the meaning of the character actually. So let's just proceed and get to know about some other radical signs and associated examples with those. So this one, the radical yu, 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 the radical yu is a radical used for rain droplets. Some you can see, you can also guess it by seeing that, and you will mostly see this radical in the Chinese characters related to rain or raindrops. Okay, and let's just consider the examples associated with this radical, and you will get to know that how this radical is linked with the raindrops or the characters that gives you the meaning of the something associated with rain. So some examples that are associated with radical yu. So these are the examples, and bao, 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 lu, 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 xue, xue, xue. So this is the English meaning: hail or hailstones, and dew and snow. So we can connect these characters with the radical sign yu, the raindrops. It has something to do with the raindrops. Scientifically, we know that how a hailstone basically form. So when the raindrops are carried upward by the thunderstorm into extremely cold areas of the atmosphere, and there they freeze, so then the hailstone grow up by colliding with the liquid water drops, and that freeze onto the hailstone, and then when they become heavier, they fall down on the ground in the form of hailstones. So this is basically has something to do with the raindrops that basically got cold and carried into the extremely cold atmosphere by the thunderstorm. So it has something to do with the raindrops. Then we consider dew. So it is also a natural form of water when it condenses and converted into, the water vapor when condenses and converted into a liquid form, so it becomes a dew, and we see that in the morning on plants or a car parking outside. Okay, so on the glass of the car parking outside. So lu and shui. So also the formation of snow has something to do with these water droplets, and basically tiny ice crystals in the clouds stick together to become snowflakes, and when these crystals stick together and become heavy enough, so they fall on the ground. So this is a scientific connection of the droplets of the rain and the radical sign. You can see this in these characters. So how it made us easy, this one radical sign made us easy to understand that these characters basically has something to do with the droplets or the rain. Okay, so now let's consider some other radical signs, and this radical sign basically is used for mouth, kou, 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 and mostly you will see this radical in the Chinese characters related to mouth. Okay, it has something, a connection with the mouth, and how it is, we will see this in the examples coming after this. And some examples related to this radical sign kou or these, and in Chinese language, 吃和说, 吃和说, 说. In English, they are eat, drink, and speak. So now you see that if you want to perform these actions, the mouth is playing the vital role. Okay, mouth. So you can eat by using mouth, you can drink by using mouth, you can speak by using mouth. Okay, there are other ways of communication, but you can basically speak with mouth. So you saw that all these Chinese characters include this radical sign kou, and how it gives us the meaning that it has something, it has a connection with the radical sign of mouth. So this is all about today's lecture. We learned that how a radical gives us the meaning of the Chinese character. So if you like our lecture, do like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube. The links are given, you can see that, and we will see each other in next interesting lecture. Till then, see you, 再见.